how much of this YouTube will allow. Because if it's not the history of lies that they tell us, they don't want it up on YouTube. But I deal with the truth. Appropriate music, don't you think? This was Hitler's favorite music. The music of Richard Wagner, because Hitler believed he was like King Arthur. He believed he was a knight of the Round Table. Oh, was he ever? But this evening, you are going to learn the truth of this man, his purpose. Unlike the history books and the documentaries that try to tell you he came out of nowhere, he's a self-made man. Bullshit. None of these dictators and tyrants are self-made men. They are chosen by the real powers that be for a purpose. Whether it's Hitler, Mussolini, Stalin, Lenin, Trump, they're all puppets. Some of them willing, some of them stupid, not even being able to realize that they're being used till it's too late. We will begin with the Hitler Project. English, that's what I said. Pay fucking attention. English Freemasonry and the Hitler Project. Hitler's entire personal career was, after all, but one product of the oligarchy's cultish world outlook. And it was the same oligarchy which, on the urging of Hjalmar Schacht, I don't know how to say these German words, German names, Germany's leading banker, decided to raise Hitler onto its shield in 1932. Hitler was their man. That's from a book called The Hitler Book. Give me this, give me this, give me this. Wait a minute. Some of these pages are stuck together. League of Nations, the Hitler Project. See, no matter how ready you think you are, you're never ready. We're going to skip all the bullshit and get right to the nitty-gritty. The Hitler Project. And please, again, as always, if I mispronounce a word or a name, please forgive me, because I am not a scholar and I don't know all the languages. So I'm a regular layman, okay? Just keep that in mind. A number of forces were behind the political creation of Adolf Hitler, 1889 through 1945. Perhaps unknown to many is a significant portion of Nazi ideology had its origin in Great Britain. We must therefore discuss the diverse British influences on Nazis, which include 1. A number of English Masons, that's Freemasons, with racist views. And they still got those racist views. Don't you believe their lies that they're accepting you? You clowns out there that believe in this diversity garbage. 2. Secret societies through which they operated, and 3, Holy Grail mysticism. Oh, that's why I was playing the music of Excalibur. All played crucial roles in creating Hitler. Inventing a Hitler began in mid-19th century. In the mid-19th century. At that time, English Masonry had come to the stark realization that French Masonry was rapidly becoming more powerful. Karl Marx, 1818 through 1883, was living in England, injecting his communist poison into the veins of the labor force. Likewise, Joseph Mazzini, and that's a very important figure in the shadows, you should study about, find out all you can about Joseph Mazzini. Remember the group that was behind The Godfather, the Black Hand? This is the guy who started the Black Hand. 1805 through 1872, Grand Master of Grand Orient, Italy, was using London to launch revolutions across the continent. Most insulting were the prominent English Masons who assisted both men, further weakening the aristocratic brotherhood. That's what the English Freemasons thought of themselves. If this trend persisted, Grand Lodge London would become subservient to Grand Orient Paris. To remedy the problem, several aristocratic English Masons organized political secret societies as vanguards for revolution. Members of these societies would be placed in strategic positions in various nations around the world to penetrate political, financial, and educational institutions, with policies that would benefit Great Britain. Some fronts, both on the left and right, operated strictly on political or socio-economic lines, such as the Fabian Society and the Round Table groups. The Round Table, King Arthur and his knights will be around the Round Table. Go watch the film Excalibur if you don't know what I'm talking about. This ain't a joke for these people. They take everything realistically. You talk about real. Christopher Nolan keeps it real. Because that's how the English do. That's what the English do. They keep it fucking real. They believe this stuff. This is not a joke for them. Others reverted to Eastern mysticism or outright Satanism. What was I talking about the other day? I did a whole series the other days about Satanism. You better go watch those. All were Masonic and operated by British race patriots. In order to regain ascendancy in the struggle for world power, English Masonry would need to disseminate its notions of racial superiority and the occult, which were closely linked. You better believe it. That cup of Christ, the Grail, it's not what you thought it was. Oh no. The cup, right, holds blood, right? But it's not what you think. And create a political engine to combat the spread of communism among the working and lower classes. In short, English Masonry would eventually need a charismatic leader who could embrace all three elements of its design. In retrospect, it seems inevitable that English Freemasonry would need to discover or create, if not Adolf Hitler, someone like him. It is this endeavor of the British Brotherhood that Helga Zepp called the Hitler Project. Mystic Fronts of English Freemasons. Edward George Bulwer Lytton Sr., 1803 through 1873, the first Baron Lytton of Knebworth, was the youngest son of wealthy parents, General William Bulwer and Elizabeth Lytton, or Lytton. After graduating from Cambridge, Bulwer Lytton traveled in Europe, returned to England, and married in 1827. His political career began in 1831, when he entered Parliament. In 1841, he registered in Protestant against. In 1841, he resigned, not registered. In 1841, he resigned in protest against repeal of the Corn Laws. Benjamin Disraeli, 1804 through 1881, converted him into a Tory, Conservative Party. And in 1852, Bulwer Lytton Sr. returned to Parliament. I'm going to go with Lytton, just in case. Could be Lytton, though. I'm not sure. Bulwer Lytton Sr. not only was an aristocrat, statesman, historian, orator, and man of letters. And let me just make sure I... He was one of the most prolific and popular English novelists of the 19th century. By 1836, he had achieved the greatest literary reputation of the day. In fact, few men in literary history have enjoyed the reputation and popularity that were Lytton's during his own lifetime. His works were read and admired not only in England, but in Germany, France, Italy, and America as well. He is best known to Americans for his 1838 novel, The Last Days of Pompeii. British race patriot Bulwer Lytton Sr. expressed his white supremacist doctrine in his 1871 novel, Vril, The Power of the Coming Race, which concerns a Superman race of white Aryans taking over the world. He was a well-known practitioner of witchcraft, studying all medieval writers, or divination and magic. He believed a solid basis of truth underlay the black arts. He maintained a life interest in the occult and was heavily involved with it, and with the Societies Rosicruciana Angelia, founded in London, 1866, of which he was grand patron. Only master masons and above, of good standing and repute, were admitted as members. Among them were the following 33-degree William W. Westcott, 32-degree S.L. MacGregor Mathers, 33-degree John Yarker, 13-degree A.E. Waite, Eliphas Levy, and 33-degree Theodore Roos, head of OTO in 1905. According to a letter from Yarker to Roos, February 14, 1902, Weishaupt's Illuminati papers, which had been confiscated by the Bavarian government in 1785 through 1786, had been entrusted to the Society's Rosicruciana Angelia. Bulwer Lytton Sr., along with this membership, studied and carried out various magical rituals and on many occasions attempted occult experiments, including the conjuring up of elemental spirits. One such occasion was related by the clairvoyant Douglas Home, who witnessed the novelist in a seance, make contact with a spirit which claimed to have influenced the author in writing the romance Zanoni. Mackey's Encyclopedia of Freemasonry lists Bulwer Lytton Sr. as a Mason and confirms his Rosicrucian affiliation, tying him to the Priory of Sion, with an S, not a Z, with an S. So, it's not so much Zionists as it is Sionists. Tying him to the Priory of Sion conspiracy. In fact, suggests another author, his epic King Arthur, and the provincial knight character Walter de Montreal in his novel Rienzi, I can't say this word, Rienzi, suggest his theology might have included Grail mysticism. Godfather of the Nazis. And again, for those fools out there who still don't get it, Nazis an abbreviation, a nickname of sorts, for National Socialists. National Socialism. Okay? Bulwer Lytton Sr. is recognized by conspiracy researchers as the godfather of the Nazi movement. A direct line of Freemasons implemented Lytton's teachings, founding and controlling secret societies based upon them. These societies can be directly linked to Hitler and his Nazi party. Hitler was also inspired by Lytton's novels Rienzi, The Last of the Roman Tribunes, and Vril, The Power of the Coming Race. In 1887, 14 years after Lytton's death, the first mystic society based on Lytton's teachings was organized, backed by Quatuor Coronati Lodge, the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. Was founded on the doctrine of Bulwer Lytton Sr.'s Rosicrucian Society. Moreover, the Golden Dawn's racist rituals had a double source, known to be heavily derived from Holy Grail mysticism, and incorporated elements of the pagan rituals outlined in Lytton's 1871 novel Vril, The Power of the Coming Race. Vril was a story of a Superman race of white Aryans who would take over the world. The swastika was a key symbol of the Golden Dawn. Another secret society founded at that time can be traced to Bulwer Lytton Sr. before his death. He had been intimate with female Mason Helena Blavatsky. Blavatsky later joined the Golden Dawn. In fact, Lytton Sr. had so influenced Blavatsky by the ISIS cult that she wrote the book ISIS Unveiled. In another book, Secret Doctrine, Blavatsky warns her readers against Lytton's Vril as the terrible sidereal astral force known to and named by the Atlanteans. and by the Aryans. It is the vril of Bulwer-Lytton's coming race. It is this satanic force that our generations were to be allowed to add to their stock of anarchists' baby toys. It is this destructive agency which, once in the hands of some modern Attila, would reduce Europe in a few days to its primitive, chaotic state, with no man left alive to tell the tale. Although Blavatsky realized the danger in Lytton's theories and warned her readers of the destruction to humanity the astral force of vril would bring should the wrong person appropriate its power, she persistently drew upon Lytton's novels for Theosophical Society teachings and rituals. Bulwer-Lytton Sr.'s influence extended to India through his son, Edward Robert Bulwer-Lytton, 1831 through 1891, who was Viceroy, and you thought that was made up for Star Wars. Ha! And Governor General of India from 1876 to 1880. Under Bulwer-Lytton Jr.'s governmentship in British India, opium production saw its greatest expansion. Bulwer-Lytton Jr. also opened his home to the cultists who were inspired by his father. One was Freemason Rudyard Kipling, 1865 through 1936, who, as we learned in the previous chapter, was a member of Milner's Round Table. Another was Helena Blavatsky, 1847 through 1933. Both Kipling and Blavatsky employed the swastika as their personal coat of arms. Bulwer-Lytton Sr.'s influence extended to continental Europe as well. His novels were the favorite reading of German composer and Freemason Richard Wagner, 1813 through 1883. That's the composer of the music that I played at the beginning of this vid. Wagner was so taken by Linton's Rienzi, the last of the Roman tribunes, that he adopted it for the libretto of his first major opera, also titled Rienzi. And please again forgive me if I pronounced it. Conspiracy writer Edith Miller lists Wagner as an early member of the OTO before it was officially organized in 1902. Wagner also was an outspoken race ideologue and anti-Semite who was involved in the 1848 German Grand Orient Revolution. He was exiled from Germany in 1849. So for all of y'all that thought all of this started when Hitler showed up, wrong! All this crazy shit, all this secret Illuminati shit, all these revolutions and shit happened way before Hitler, paving the way for Hitler's rise. You better believe it. Rienzi would provide an excellent blueprint for a 20th century dictator. Conspiracy Digest states it would have been better for mankind if this Wagnerian opera had never come into existence, because the fusion of Bulwer-Lytton Sr.'s historical novel with the evil genius of Wagner's music was the fateful synthesis which sparked Hitler's Nazi dream. You see, this is how they get unwilling dupes, okay, who believe in this stuff. They put it out. They know they understand the power of ideas, y'all. And they know that people are soaking it up. They're they're doing it here in the United States right now with their agendas in the movies and in the video games. And the motherfuckers that play these video games, who watch these films, have no idea they're being brainwashed. They're creating acolytes. As suggested by the flophouse scene beginning this chapter, and I skipped that for obvious reasons, attending the opera Rienzi proved to be one of the most significant and profound experiences of Hitler's life. His first of what would be over 100 returns to see Rienzi performed occurred with a friend, August Kubizek, in Linz, Austria, November 1906. Kubizek reports that Hitler's whole personality changed after that performance. Outside the opera house, Hitler spoke of a mandate which one day he would receive from the people to lead them out of servitude to the heights of freedom. He spoke of a special mission which one day would be entrusted to him. And remember, this is when Hitler was still a teenager, a young man. Soon after the opera, Hitler made one of his many pilgrimages to the grave of Wagner. During the 1930s, when Hitler had made good his mandate, he and Kubizek were guests at the home of Richard Wagner's 86-year-old widow. There, Hitler related what he had experienced during and after the 1906 performance of Rienzi. Concluding his account to Frau Wagner, Hitler is quoted as solemnly stating, in that hour, National Socialism, began. Whew. Hitler felt that his only predecessor was Richard Wagner. He read all of Wagner's writings and said the composer's political essays were his favorite reading. Hitler never hesitated to acknowledge his debt to Wagner. He is quoted as saying, whoever wants to understand, now listen to this. Listen to this. And you say that music has no power. You say that film has no power. You say that video games have no power. Listen to this. I quote Hitler. Whoever wants to understand National Socialist Germany must know Wagner. And then play some Wagner here while I drink some water.